Hello, viewers from YouTube. I'm sure you're all searching for some success story. How this person prepared? Can this help me? So thanks for visiting here. And this is Sriram from ShriLearning. We have Shruthi in front of us. It is at 12 a.m. in the EST time zone. But she said, okay, let me give some success story, which I traveled all the way. The first thing, congratulations to Shruthi for this wonderful achievement. Great achievement.
Thank you, Sriram. Thank you so much.
Right. First thing, I'll bring up your certificate and then we'll get into your discussion.
Sure.
So here is her certificate. You can see she cleared 28th April, right?
That's
Okay.
right.
It's a massive achievement in the sense of preparation. It took enough time for her family, corporate life, and she has to somewhere skew somewhere and get the time. I don't know how many hours she slept, very less hours of sleeping and full amount of preparation. The classes are going parallel. She was preparing hard, reading the books, writing practice tests, taking full exams, very consistent. One thing I found with her is pretty consistent, pretty much determined that I have to get it. Okay. So apart from that, a lot of drama would have happened around because when you prepare, you will have something happening at your home. You have to manage it. Also, the exam, there will be some fun. Post-exam, there will be some more fun. So let's listen some stories from her. Before getting there, first let's congratulate her and listen from her from what background she comes. Yes, Shruti.
I am working as a project manager. I'm right now in US, Buffalo, New York. I'm working here since a year. Before that, I was working in Bangalore, India.
Okay.
And it's like I have around 13 plus years of work experience. Most of it is in project management.
Good, good. Which domain you work for?
I'm in pharmaceutical domain.
Pharmaceutical, highly demanded. Oh, God. Okay.
Yes, I'm sure from past 1 year, like everybody in the world knows a lot about pharma than what they knew before, right? Yeah, thanks to COVID, but yes. Right. Yeah.
Again,
So I'm in pharmaceutical domain.
in a sense, people don't want that, but at the same time, we need medicine. Both are needed, right? Sometimes we
Yes,
feel why we want a
exactly.
medicine. Sometimes we
Yeah,
feel man, we need medicine for survival. Both are there. It's a confused
right.
stage. I'm conducting project management classes for a long time. I have seen for so many years, many people from pharma come here. Okay, they come for classes to learn management skills. They may be a doctors, I mean doctorate people or PhD holders. Like they come and they have good opportunity in US, Germany, in India as well. So how management is viewed from pharma industry, even though we call medicine research industry, do you think pharma has more scope for management skills?
Of course, yes, it is. I mean, I think project management. When we study the project management concepts, we know in every domain there is a need for project management and management per se, and even within pharma there are different industries. Like there are product oriented companies, there are service oriented companies. Back in Bangalore, I was in a service company. It was a CM contract manufacturing organization, but right now I'm in a product oriented company.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so there is definitely a need for project management and management as such in pharma as well. Like but yes, it's all predictive. At least that I have worked for is all waterfall and all predictive, nowhere agile. that was
have you heard
that
this
was
word agile?
totally new.
Have
Oh
you heard this?
no, not at all, actually, not until January. You remember on the first, I think even the pre-kickoff kind of the day zero day, you asked some of is there anybody who have never heard agile? And there were a few people who picked up their hands, who raised their hands. One of them was me. I had no idea what agile was until January. It's like,
Okay.
but yeah, that was it's all predictive, yes, at least from the projects that I have worked for,
Okay.
and from what I have heard from my peers and from the industry, agile is kind of very, very, very rare, and there may have been, which I don't know, so I can't generalize, but I have worked only on waterfall.
Okay.
Yes.
After reading all these agile principles, mindsets, thought process, do you think that we are somehow already doing it, portion of it?
Exactly. Yes, that is true. We may not call it agile. We may not have a product owner. We may not have a certified, Scrum Master and everything. But yes, there are some concepts and some parts of the project which can be agile. Like, so that would put it as a hybrid project, but definitely not a complete agile. But yes,
Right.
there are some concepts of some part of the project, yes, where it could be agile.
That's nice. That's nice. Great. Good to know. So how come this, when it project management PMP certification thought popped up in your mind?
Well, that was very long back, actually. I think it was back in 2010 or not
Oh,
20, sorry, 2012 or 2013. Actually, it's a very long journey. But
okay.
when I initially I was got into the role of project management in a company called Kimball Biopharma in Bangalore. When I was introduced to the project management concept, I was fascinated. I really fell in love with the whole managing projects kind of a thing. Though I was very new, like a novice kind of a in that skill set.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
still learning, but I really liked the concept of doing it. And from then on, though I was given an opportunity to move into different roles, I really stick to that. So it was somewhere around 2012 or 2013 when I heard about PMP. First of all, when I came to know that there is a certification that which is highly valued throughout the world
Uh-huh.
and recognized and all that, I wanted to do it. But being in Bangalore and with the commute and all that, I had no time to do that. And so I had to relocate in 2015 from Bangalore to US because of family needs. My husband works here, so he came here in 2013. I had to relocate in 2015. So I thought, okay, now I'm going to go and take a break. Let me finish, the 5-day training course, the 5-day mandatory classroom training course in Bangalore, and
Okay.
then I'll come here. I will have a lot of time, so I will finish my,
Right.
PMP. That
Good.
was the plan. So 2015, I took the 5-day course, training course. It was a
Uh-huh.
training institute in Bangalore and Malleshwaram. It was a classroom training. So obviously at that time, there was no option for virtual training, right? So it had to be 5-day classroom training. So at that time, I took the training. I came here. Things changed. Life happens. I came to the US and it's like, I enjoyed the break. I definitely enjoyed the break of 1 year. I said, okay, not this time a little, let me do it after 6 months. So, but then I started studying. I think it was PM Book 4 or 5 at that time. I don't even know. Between the gaps, it's like, I think
2015,
PM
right?
Book,
Should be
yeah.
four, I
I think
believe.
four. I think
Hmm.
four, yeah. So between the gap, PMBOK changed 2 versions by the time I finished my PMP certification. So I started studying, but I could not complete it, though I was on a break and my daughter was still small. And obviously it was like I just did not perceive it further. I started
I
studying
understand.
and then I discontinued again. But
Okay.
somehow this time, when started working here, it's like obviously, I used to feel bad that I'm not able to do it, but I did not, make a plan to finish it at that time. I always had that in my mind, I have to do it. And whatever happens, whether I continue, whether I'm going to back in workforce or not, I am going to complete this PMP. But then this year, I think in November or December, I said, my resolution for 2021 will be I have to finish my PMP at any cost. And then I came across, I think, through ShriLearning, through your LinkedIn profile.
Uh-huh.
So then I said, okay, January there is a bad starting. Why not I start? The very fresh first month I start in January,
New Year
and
resolution.
yes, New Year resolution. Okay, let me start. Okay, let me at least start with the training. Obviously, by the time I prepare, it's going to take 6 more months. So let me start with the training first. Obviously, your training was inspiring. No second thoughts, no second thoughts. And when I started, actually, when during the training and when it took a long time, right? It did not take 5 days because of the weekend sessions. It took at least, I
Yeah.
think, 10 weekends. Sorry, 5 weekends or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
by that time, I had decided, no, it's not going to take 6 months. Okay, let me finish it before. Um, first my plan was March. That was totally aggressive, obviously, that I could not do it. And I said, okay, you told us to have a date, right? Either your birthday, your anniversary, set that date as your, target. I religiously follow that. And April end was my birthday. And I said, before I turn so and so, it's like, we're not going to get any younger before I turn so and so. I have to be PMP certified. Whether I'm going to pass or not, it's like a 6-year plan or a 7-year plan. Let me at least try. I have to try. So, but then when I started preparing, it's like, it's the way I took it and the way that I prepared. I said, it's not going to work if I just try. I have to clear it. So 28th was my exam, and thank God it all fell in place and I cleared it. So I definitely set a goal, and I worked really hard. I really worked hard for that.
Perfect.
So that
super. Happy to know the journey where you started. It's a long dream,
exactly.
right? To be honest, I came to know PMP only in 2016 beginning.
Oh my God, look at that. Okay, I did not know that. Yes, in fact 2012 or 2013, the boss that I was reporting to, my reporting manager, was from the US actually. Okay. So he already knew PMP, PMI and all that, and he saw that okay, I was definitely doing good, and I had that skills, and I had that I'm a people oriented person. He's like, you can do good with people. He said, why don't you try? Why don't you think about doing the PMP certificate? So yes, I finished my first training in 2015.
Nice, right? You have a good motivating leader around you. That's
yes.
Should be appreciated. Great. See, good thing is when you are in a country like US, you have a lot of time, at least your family time, reading time. That's good. It helped you, push you. But again, people in India last 2 years, they have enough time. Now nobody can complain that I don't have time.
Yeah.
You can see many people are getting qualified. I somehow feel another 3-4 years, if this is a situation, people are going to have enough time for themselves. The level of knowledge can get pretty broader. So now if anybody complains from India saying they don't have time to read, we have to ask them, man, what's happening? Or if it's the television or IPL, right? Good, super.
Right.
Good,
and Shriram, definitely it's always a challenge. I think if a woman, definitely it's they have to work extra hard. There is definitely no second thought. So.
But I always have as good stats that women, the mom, clear PMP smoother. Maybe they already a program manager handling kids at home, so project management becomes easy for them. So at least I've got a lot of people who have a kid at home. She may be handling your office as a good role, but still they clear the exam. I believe the determination is pretty high after you handle multiple things at home. Maybe I don't know. I have to do a research on that. Okay. Coming to the exam part. So was it a Proctor based or a center based exam?
It was a Proctor-based exam. I wanted to do center-based, but there were no slots till September. I'm not sure why. Are they closed or not? I don't know. Yeah, so till September, there was no slot. So I had to go for Proctor-based, yes.
But it is a month of April. How is the virus thing in the US? It's reduced down a little bit, right? Not much.
Definitely, yes. It is definitely under control. We are all vaccinated now. Actually, I am vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated. So, and it's getting warmer now. It's a beautiful season here, so it's like it was winter all this time, and it is getting better. Definitely situation here is much better, but I don't know why I could not see any slots. There are two testing sites close by, and both I could not see anything until September, and October end was the first slot that I was seeing.
Something wrong. Okay. Coming to Proctor, you basically need a good internet connection, good computer, which does not have a good firewall to protect.
No firewalls, yes.
So you use your personal laptop, I believe.
Yes, I did. I used my personal laptop. I did the testing. Actually, there is a testing requirement that you have to do to test your laptop, your mic and camera. I had done that 3 days before and once before the exam. So yeah, definitely a good internet connection.
Is it a Windows or Mac?
Windows.
Windows is preferably okay. Mac also working, but still I feel a little worried. Mac sometimes don't allow the application to run on the phone. It will stop.
Okay.
Pretty good. So let's listen something about the exam, then come for the preparation part. So even though you prepared a lot, I think you took 4-5 mock exams. When you sit on the real exam, real exam, that feel is different. Whatever you do,
Yes.
the
Yeah, it is definitely different. And it's like because of it's Proctor based, though you may be in the same room and though the environment may still be the same, but real exam is definitely a real exam. There is no prepcast or no mock exams can level with that.
I
I think the
understand. I
intensity,
understand.
yeah, and obviously it's too high, I think.
So it's a screen with the one question at a time, and I believe it's a blue background with the white questions. That's how it is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they didn't
and
change the format.
there are no, they did not. I don't know how it was because this is my first try. Thank God I cleared it in first try. Yes, and there are some small icons for calculator and some chat and all that. But yes, and the surprising thing for me was, that option, the tab where you see the webcam and all that. It is so small you don't even realize during the exam that somebody is watching you. I think that was quite surprising for me, but it's like you hardly have time to look around during the exam, so it's like
Seriously, seriously. See,
yeah,
our eyes should be only in the question. That's
on
why
the
maybe
screen.
they kept it small. Okay, great. So let's get the feel of first 10 questions.
First 10 questions. First more than first 10 questions, I would take it up to the first 60 questions because frankly, right after the exam, Sriram, I kind of had no clue what I did, except for five things or 5 or 6 things that I clearly remember. I'm not talking today because even that day, right after the exam, it was like, I don't know what did I do. So the first 60 questions were obviously have always been tough for me, actually, even in the prepcast and even in the 4 prepcast mock exams that I took. First 60 questions were, I don't know what, I took 2 hours. I took 2 hours to clear the
Wow,
first 60
wow, wow.
questions.
Actually,
Yeah,
did you keep watching the time? Hey, it's
I
running
did.
over.
I did. But I could not press next without answering this question, right? I know it was taking time. And even for the first, all the 4 mocks, I was taking, I think 90 minutes, okay, 95 minutes in the first 4 mocks. At that itself, I was thinking, it is maybe too much. And, maybe I have to cut short or I have to try to manage it better. But real exam, I took 2 hours to complete the first 60 questions. And it is intense. First 60 questions is definitely a little tricky. The initial plan was I was thinking, when I see the question, I would see what process is being performed, what knowledge area it is, and I will analyze, okay, who am I in this question? Am I the project manager? Am I the team
Okay,
member?
okay,
I could not
okay,
do anything. I could
okay.
not do anything for 60 questions. But yes, first 10 questions were pretty okay. I think it got intense a little later than that.
Mm, mm, mm.
First
So
60
tell me,
questions are always tricky.
yeah, yeah. Is it because the questions are mixed up, jumbled between knowledge areas? Like they bring stakeholder, they bring resource, they bring risk, all will be in one question. Did you felt that kind of mix there?
Yes, there definitely is a mix of knowledge area, mix of domains, and mix of process. Actually, there
Right.
is it was hard for me to understand some of the questions. It was hard for me to understand which knowledge area actually are they mainly
Right.
focusing on. There are 2 3, right? Because even after reading the options, I could not relate a lot of questions to which knowledge area are they
Right.
talking
Right.
about. The length of the questions were actually throughout the exam, it was like mix. There were lengthy questions, there were short questions with lengthy options, there
Uh,
were, yeah, there were small, there were okay, kind of okay length kind of questions. So the whole 180 questions were a mix of all, actually.
I
It's not that there were only lengthy questions, but it was a mix of all.
I understand. I understand. So one thought, Shruti, many people are asking of, do I need to memorize the process? Do I need to memorize ITTOs? Right? Even though we cross all these things reading in PMBOK or RITA, do you think memorizing these things is going to help in the main exam?
Not memorizing, Sriram. I don't think memorizing is going to help, but especially the tools and techniques in each knowledge area, I think we definitely have to remember them. I mean, like, when you take up when you take up resource, there are certain tools and techniques, right? you will definitely have to, you don't have to memorize, like, this
Understand it.
there's understand it. Exactly. You have to understand, and you have to remember, like, okay, these are the set of tools and techniques under resource.
Why we use it. So that's important,
Why?
right?
Yes, why we use it. Exactly, why we use it,
Right.
and applying that tools and techniques to the questions is what actually helps you clear the exam.
Perfect.
It's it can get confused because we have the same tools and techniques in different domains, right?
Yeah.
There's sort of different knowledge area. It can get confused, but you definitely have to understand and be able to remember, like, if you think about resource, or if you think about scope, okay, these are the tools and techniques that
Got
comes
you.
under
Got
that.
you. Got you.
And I used to make a lot of notes. I made a lot of notes, lot of flashcards. So from the time I started, making notes with pages and pages and pages, 3 days before the exam, my notes, or the ones that I was referring to, were 10 pages for 10 knowledge areas. That's it.
Fantastic.
And with a flow chart. So the more you read and the more you try to understand, like, if you see one word, you will be able to understand this is the tool and this is the technique. So
Perfect.
that's the
Perfect.
kind of, that's the kind
Perfect.
of preparation which is
Makes
required.
really good sense. Okay, so talking about this part, did Agile shock you in the exam hall? Did you feel that, since you're not from Agile background, did you felt, man,
Mhm.
this is pretty heavy for me?
No, not in the exam, actually. Not in the exam. Yes, though Agile was new, and the questions that I had expected, or I think, were falling under that category. Like, it did not go out of scope or anything. There were a lot of questions on Agile. Yes, Agile plus hybrid. Actually, it was a mix kind of thing. But it did not shock me, actually. But yes, I could do it.
Very good, very good. I think that you made you read well. That's what it says here. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And when you said 2 hours done there, did you took a break? Did you relax yourself?
I did. I did take two breaks. Actually, I definitely took two breaks. Though I wasted 2 hours in the first 60 questions. I thought I definitely need a break, at least 5 minutes. Though the break was 10 minutes, I did not take full 10 minutes break. I came back in 5 or 6 minutes, and it's like I wanted to continue. I wanted to just keep on going. And I took some 5 or 6 minutes break, the first break and even the second break. I did not take the full 10-minute break because
I
I just
understand.
wanted to go next.
So you had any strategy, because 2 hours gone now. So balances, you have very limited time, right? Let's just 1 hour 50 minutes, I believe. 1 hour
Yeah.
50 minutes is there. So now, how do you strategy do that? What is the plan for next second 60 questions?
Next, the next 20 questions were like, it was all instance. I think I could that's all I can say. You read the question, you read the options, and it is like I had no time to think and analyze and all that. So maybe the preparation did help me, or what, I don't know. The next 60 questions, all I can remember is 120 questions are all just an instinct. I could read and I could see that, okay. And frankly, the second part, I think I was a little comfortable. It's like I knew what I was doing, though I did not have to read the question a lot of times. I knew what I was doing, and I had no time to think. So it's like you read and this is what it is. You just have to click and move on next. That's it.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I think your way of reading also would have improved,
Helped.
because you would have
Yes,
understood the language of PMI. Whatever you
exactly.
read in books, whatever you take prep class, any simulator, still the language of PMI is slightly different. When you read those
Yeah,
words or terminology, it's going to be different.
yeah,
Great. So
yeah.
did you found any mathematics questions, any calculation needed?
No, there was no calculations questions. Then cost related, no earned value management, and no nothing.
Okay. Hmm. Totally
Um,
possible.
there, yeah, there were two questions actually. We took me by surprise, but when we start the exam, PMI makes us to sign saying that we're not going to be disclosing the
Yep, yep.
questions and all that. So I'll just mention two things. There were two questions which I had were totally kind of a new concept.
Hmm.
It was Prepcast has definitely all we think it has everything. all the models kind of questions, like, graph and fill in the blanks or match the following. I saw there were 2 questions, which was like totally new for me. I had not that model type of question. The way they asked us to answer was new. So we can expect 1 or 2 questions, like a new
Different model.
concept,
Yeah, I
different
remember I heard
model.
from one other student also. He said something like a different format of drag and stuff he was mentioning.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Anyway, it's all look like a game now. PMI exam look like a game with multiple options, drag and drop, hotspot. So they give a lot of
Right.
entertainment like amusement park to make you feel good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that there were a lot of match the following questions actually
okay, okay.
in the
That's
exam, more of
I
5 or
heard
6.
match of following sometimes easy, sometimes it drags much of time.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, because there are 5 or 6, right, minimum, and you have to read each. So if there is one side, if there is one word, the other side, it's like, one sentence which you have to match. So it's like you have to study everything, you have to read everything and understand. And as usual, you are always stuck with one which is like confusing, whether it goes with A or it goes with B. Yeah, so that will take time.
Toughness is that. Okay, coming back on exam part, when you come to the last, let's say 180th question, how much of time left over for you?
I think 30 seconds.
So
30 seconds, seriously, 30 seconds. In fact, I was going short the third part of my exam. If there was if there are 40 minutes, I still have like 47 questions to go. Something like that. I think the whole last 60 questions, I was running 7 minutes short. Like, I did not even have a 1 single minute to complete one question. So the 180th question was, maybe I was doing it in 229 minutes. The 229th minute is I was in 180th question.
So you waited for that 30 seconds, or you clicked the button enough?
No, I clicked the button actually. I think that I had some 10, 20 seconds left, because I did not know what will happen actually. Frankly, I did not know whether it will say, you did not submit the exam, or, it will create some problem. That was the reason I said, I submitted 10 or 20 seconds. I said, I'll submit.
Okay, after submitting, how long it took to show the results?
To show the results, I think it came around 15, 20 seconds. It's dear, hello, Shruthi Giridhar, congratulations, you have earned you cleared, and then you can, celebrate now, and, you've worked really hard. So I got that message after a couple of seconds. Yeah.
But that seconds when the browser is running,
it's like, it's like, okay, now it is time, the time that I have been waiting for since 6 years is going to show up on screen now. I was ready.
That 10 seconds, the time the browsing, people become more spiritual. Okay.
I can relate to that, seriously. Yes, why not? It is like and the preparation is too much, right? The intense, and that's like,
people who they may be very strong, very tough people, but the 10 seconds when the browser is browsing for your result, this may become like this humble and say, please allow me to pass.
I know. Exactly, definitely. Yeah, it is. I can relate to many people being spiritual, because it is that intense, and that I think the 4 hours. I think 4 hours exam is like it takes a different level of energy required, right? To sit for 4 hours continuously.
True. It's something like a Wimbledon match where you possess that stamina to be there. If not, it's not going to drive you. And a good part here with viewers who are watching here, she said 2 hours first 60 and then picked up. You should know her results. She got above target and all. So it means the effort, what she has put, it is really worth it. So, but at the same time, did you expect it to be above target and all?
No, actually, no. Seriously, I did not expect that I will get above target. Frankly, after my 4th mark, I was expecting, okay, I may get 2 above target, or at least, 2 target and 1 above target. Or that's what I was at least aiming for. The overall score, I don't want to underestimate myself at the same time. we know how intense it is going to be, and though I have heard that how tough it is going to be and how tricky the questions are going to be. You can prepare, you can study so much, but how you perform in the exam is all that matters, right?
It
So
is.
I did not expect it. I will have above target in all three, and especially after first 60 questions in that break, and after the second 16 questions in my second break, also I was not even sure whether I'm going to clear or not. And I'm being very honest, because it's like the first 60 questions were really tough for me, so I did not know how I did. And you have to clear the exam, you have to pass these many questions. But yes, the second 60 questions I was little okay, but the first 60 questions at the first break I was thinking, okay, first of all, I don't know whether I will have enough time to clear 180 questions or not. That was the biggest question. And after my 120 questions, I was thinking, okay, I don't know, it may happen or it may not happen. Let's see. At least let me finish my exam. Let me submit 180 questions, and then we'll see what happens.
Nice. Good. So great. Good to know that you did a great job. So I believe you had a good celebration post clearing. I believe your family supported you because
Yes.
we definitely need a family support on this kind of challenging exam. The reason is, yes, when you're in college days, you can do this. If I ask a 22-year board, you have your whole
Exactly.
time. But after you grow, you have a family, you won't find time, right? Somebody has to support you.
Yeah.
You have a cooking
Exactly.
stuff, you have to take care of children, you take care of yourself, and family, function, relatives. It's a
Yep.
lot. So that, right?
Yep.
Good job.
It is definitely very difficult being a professional, being working, and managing home. And it is like there are 24 hours in a day, and you can't do 3 full-time jobs, right? It was like that. It is definitely like that. You have
It is.
you have to study, and you also have to manage home. Yeah.
Fantastic. Super. Great job, Shruthi. Thanks for coming up here. I know it's middle of the night for you. So if you want to
Yeah.
give some tips to the people, do you have anything you want to share with people?
I think the first thing that my own experience is we get confused which material to study, right? I think how to study, and which one to take. There are exam content outline, there are 5 chapters, and there are 3 domains and 10 knowledge area, 5 different process groups. I think the first thing what we have to do is, I think if we start reading Rita, the 10th edition, I think that would definitely help a lot to understand, because it's like when you read Rita, the way it's worded, especially, imagine, you're a project manager and you want to do this, and, imagine you don't have this data, how would that impact? I think Rita, if you start with Rita, 10th edition, that will really help you understand the concepts very well. I did Rita first, actually. I did the first 10 knowledge areas with Rita. And then I think I studied PMBOK, actually. I studied only, I think, the last week of my exam. I referred. I did refer, actually. I did refer all knowledge areas in PMBOK. It was more like, at the very beginning of each knowledge area, we have that table, right? The input tools and techniques. And I was referring to my notes, and I was saying, okay, do I have all this? Have I covered all this? And that's how I did the PMBOK. And Agile practice guide is excellent in PMBOK. Actually, Rita 10 knowledge areas are good, but though it mentions some Agile concepts, the questions that we get from exam, especially, are a lot from servant leadership and how your organization, meets with the how especially the new organization who, if they want to implement Agile, those, I think chapter 3 there in PM Agile practice guide. Lot of questions are from Agile practice guide. I think if you that's a must read. I think we cannot get away with that. Yeah.
Right. In
So
fact, that's a
Agile
very
practice
small
guide.
book to read. That's a small book to read. You can quickly go through
Yeah.
that book.
Yeah. So Agile practice guide is a must. So one tip, I think, for people who are preparing is definitely Rita is helpful to understand the 10 knowledge areas. Agile practice guide, yes, from the exam point of view, yes, definitely is. And PMBOK, actually, when you have already understood the concepts, it will help you structure that concepts, there are beautiful tables in PMBOK, and the inputs and tools and techniques at the very beginning of the knowledge area, the chapters. I think those are very helpful in when you're actually revising the concepts. not when you're actually freshly reading the concepts. It is good, but it takes a lot of time to really start with PMBOK and end with PMBOK. So these three are good. It's a lot of material in PMBOK to read it to, and
True. Thanks for the input. I'm keep referring people to do that. Right. I sometimes tell that language which you like, pick up the book and read. But the way you're saying is good that read has a good wording. So I generally recommend people read Agile Practice Guide, which is a small book.
yes,
Complete it within first 10 days or 5 days. You get the grip of what is Agile it is, what is a hybrid model, all explain that. Then read
yes,
Rita, all the 10 blocks. As you said, PMBOK can be used for referring the content, right?
yes, yeah.
That's a good order. And I don't think we have to go to too many materials in the market. People are
No,
getting too many PDF, this author, that author.
no, I think that was confusing, Sriram. I would agree with that. I think we get a lot of materials, right? And there is no end to it. There is no end to
Exactly.
it. Like
Exactly.
so, but yes, I wanted to definitely refer to PMBOK before the exam, because I wanted to make sure I'm not missing out on anything, if there are any new concepts. The only purpose of me revising through PMBOK was to make sure that are there no new concepts that I don't know of, with the tools and techniques.
Yes.
That is important. So that is why I did revise with PMBOK, and the glossary in PMBOK is extremely helpful at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is actually more than 25 to 30 pages. So there is one glossary in Agile Practice Guide for Agile concepts, and there is one glossary for the first part of the PMBOK. Those two, I think the last 3 days, I had made a lot of notes and flowcharts. I read knowledge area wise, whatever the concepts are, and as I was doing it, I was referring to the glossary to make sure that I understand the project documents and the project, especially the process part of it. So the glossary helped a lot at the end.
Very good. Very good. That's a good points. So I can tell people that you can go by the order of reading Rita, then listen to reference in the PMBOK, but go through the glossaries to get the grip of the keywords, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I keep
Yeah.
telling them. Great. That's good. Good tips. I think people can follow. Fantastic. Fantastic. And thanks, Shruthi, for coming up here. And would definitely appreciate the effort what you put. It took a lot of determination, having all this pressure around you. And this, let it be a stepping stone, because I don't want you to stop
Yes,
with
I know.
PMP, right?
Seriously, I know.
So now what happened is the doors are open now. Your brain thinks I can achieve more. Right?
Exactly. Definitely. I think it was a very aggressive timeline that I set to myself. I think I many a times I was thinking I had some problems with my health also, because I was having a lot of sleepless nights. So at that time, some motivational quotes, I don't want to get too philosophical here, but some motivational quotes did help me actually, because there is one quote that it was with me, and it still is actually throughout the journey. It's like, when your plan does not work, change the plan, not the goal. So I think that definitely was with me throughout through the last 3 to 4 months. My plan did not work. My initial plan did not work. I had to change my plans to make sure that I'm ready by April and to take the exam. We get bogged down with a lot of things going around, but yes, I think the discipline is definitely very important too. It's a lot of material and a lot of studying, so it is required. But still, again, it is not impossible. Like, I have done it. It is definitely not impossible. So, but yeah, we have to dedicate this much time to studying. And the last 3 months, it was like, for me, either my work, 8 to 5 was my work, and then it was all PMP concepts that was going on in my mind, even when I was cooking or doing anything else. So yeah, it was like I could not get it out of my mind. I think I have to give that credit to myself. I could not take the concepts out of my mind. It was all that was running in my mind for the past 3 months.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So that's a good thing about PMP. They make you to digest the content before go to exam. It's not something you memorize something and write exam. That's a good thing.
No, else you cannot. I think that is you cannot clear it if you don't understand it. There is no way you can clear it. I think that is a blunt rule. It is like it's not 1 or 2 chapters that you can finish and by passing by click right now. there are it's like, answering every question is like integrating all the concepts, all the knowledge areas, and answering every question. In fact, many a times I had problems with lengthy questions when I started the first mock, and I had problem with understand the hybrid questions, actually hybrid project questions. I actually imagined myself, it's like, if it was a virtual team question, it's like, I'm imagining myself as a project manager talking to the team and actually living that particular scenario. It did help a lot to clear 1 or 2 marks. So it's required. You have to find something that will help you relate all the concepts to the exam, in the exam. So it's
right.
Every person will have a different trick.
Perfect. Great. I like the quote as well. So don't change the goal, change the plan, right?
Yep,
Make it happen. Fantastic.
Yes.
It's a beautiful one. Super. And now keep rocking, keep growing more.
Thank you.
As I always tell that, learning is one portion, implement it. Okay, that's
Definitely.
very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yes.
Since you digest all these things, it's all inside you. You should
Right.
show that to your personal and professional life. That is a real learning. It's not only certificate. Right? That's important.
Exactly.
Okay,
right.
Good wishes. Thanks for coming up
Thank
here.
you. Thank you so much, Sriram. And definitely thanks for your support and ShriLearning. And definitely I would recommend ShriLearning to anybody actually who would like to take up a PMP course. Seriously. Thank you.
Thanks. Great.